Billy Carson didn't mention my name in that video. So I really want to, just out of respect, I'm going to say this. I went in on him and I mentioned his name because I don't do subliminals. But we know who the brother was talking about. And I'm just taking it personally anyway because you addressed this community and I'm a part of it. I think Billy Carson could have used better words in his disagreement to flat earth or whatnot. And so I'm not going to apologize for nothing I said. A lot of people think I maybe should apologize. I'm not going to apologize but what I will do though, I'll be respectful from here on out because he did not mention my name. I will say I probably was wrong. I'm not making no apologies, but I'll admit out of respect that I probably was wrong for calling him an agent, Freemason, and all that. Now, I will say I called him all that, and I do suspect that he is. But I said it definitively, like I had proof. I think his actions are suspect, though. Let me say shout out to Joel Benjamin. I don't know if y'all know who that brother is, but shout out to him. I mentioned him yesterday. Somebody was like, bro, he don't run the Black Magic channel. You wrong on that. So, and I don't got no smoke with Joel. Joel is a cool dude. I was actually in his chat room. I've been on his channel talking in his chat room before. I might have even supported. So shout out to Joel Benjamin. Ain't no smoke with my brother Joel. I was just talking about the channel Black Magic 363. They're kind of biased though, because just say I got a debate channel and I let somebody come up there to attack the Hebrew Israelites message. Well, me being a fair guy, I'm going to hit up the Hebrew Israelites and I'm going to be like, look, I had a brother on my channel. He don't agree with what y'all teach. I'm giving you an opportunity to come up to rebuttal what he did with a video so we can have both sides of the story. That's called running an unbiased platform. If you don't do your platform like that, if you don't run it that way, then you're just a biased platform, and that's not really good. That's kind of detrimental to our people. So shout out to Black Magic 363. I mean, at the end of the day, they just bringing people up, just trying to share whatever information they think is the truth, you know. And I just think the extraterrestrial topic and telling our people that we ETs and shit like that, I think that's just as detrimental as the Bible and all the other indoctrination that kept us back. But who am I? And what does my little opinion matter? Let me ask y'all to do me a favor before I hit play. Hit the like button, hit the share button. One more time, hit the like button, hit the share button. Come on now, hit the like button, hit the share button. Do that for your boy, it's free. Now let's get into this thing.
The people that were called the God, or the entity that was called God in the...
Like I said, people, I'm not running this. I want to say one thing before I hit play. I'm not running this at regular speed. I'm just making a disclaimer. If people want to be like, yo, them brothers talking a bit fast, I'm just letting you know I got the playback speed at 1.25. And just because it's a long video and I want to rush it through, that'll save us some time. We're still going to be able to hear the words legibly, and you probably won't even notice that much of a difference. Now let's get into it.
The people that were called the God, or the entity that was called God in the Old Testament of the Bible, is actually a person named Enlil. And I do mean a person, not a creator of a universe. If you want any more proof of this, just go read the book of Deuteronomy and you'll see what God orders people to do, women and kill children and everything else. It's not a creator. But anyway, they began this.
He already said something I want to argue. The creator, the name of the biblical God, of course, it wasn't a literal God. I agree with him. The God is whoever was ruling the land at the time. The Lord was the landlord. They didn't have a word called president when the state, when the church was the government, they didn't have a word called president. They had a word called Lord. So your president would have been your Lord at the time in medieval times. A Lord is a higher being that presides over a lesser being. And that's where we get the word president from, which is the word presiding. President is presiding. In other words, your president is your Lord today. These words are synonymous, right? Heaven is a nation, and its president is called the Lord thy God, which is a title, not a name. That's because the names change every rulership, every kingship. When one king die, it passes on to the son, or when that kingdom gets invaded, the lords change. Okay, these lords change, but the title don't. So when we read these texts, we may say, hey man, the president did this or the president did that. We're speaking from 2020. We know we're talking about Trump, so we don't have to say the name, we can just say the title. When we read the Bible, a lot of times when you're reading the Lord said and the Lord did and the Lord did, people are speaking in the same way we speak today. When we say the president did this, did you hear what the president said today? So to understand which Lord they was talking about, you will have to do your research and see the history of when that particular scripture was written. And you know they're talking about Lord such and such, or Lord such and such, who was ever ruling during that time. I hope y'all get what I'm saying. I hope y'all get what I'm saying. When you read in the Bible, you see the word Lord, which is a title. They don't tell you the name of the Lord, just like today we don't tell you the name of the president because you know who the president is. If I walk in the store and say, man, the president made a dumb statement today, I don't have to say Trump. So the Bible is written in the same perspective of people saying Lord during their time, but you don't identify the Lord if you don't do the further research. Hey, look, man, keep this respectful, yo. Stop, don't be cussing each other out and all that. Even if you got Christians in the chat room, let them live, man. Like, it's not that deep. People ain't gonna always agree. Now, let me say this before we move on. He's wrong. He said the God of the Bible is named Enlil. Well, I'm not gonna say he's all the way wrong on that. I'm just gonna say he's partially right. The God of the Bible had many names, but in antiquity, the Hebrew God was called El. The Sumerian God Enlil was their interpretation of El. So that can be confusing if people don't know. Now let's look at real quick before I go any further. I want you guys to be able to see what he mean about Enlil before we go on, because this is where we're about to get deep and learn a lot. So hit the like button. Here's the Sumerian god called Enlil. Now, this is what you got to realize, people. We're about to get into sacred geometry and syncretism right now, and I'm about to blow your mind. Now, what I'm going to do, I'm going to move myself a minute. I want you to look at this image, folks. This is the God he's speaking about, who he's calling Enlil. He's saying that the God of the Bible is named Enlil, but he's wrong on that. He's partially right, meaning that when the Sumerians talked about the God of the Bible, they didn't call him El like the original Hebrews. They called him Enlil. So it's the same God. The Sumerians, remember, When the Bible was introduced on earth, it instantly became one of the most dominant religions on earth in just a small amount of couple hundred of years, because the Christians carried out crusades and enforced the Bible on most of the world. That's important to keep in mind, that when the Bible was conceived, when the first Bibles was printed by the Gutenberg printing press, and even before that, this God of the Bible, this Bible God, was already popular on earth. You got to keep that in mind and realize that everyone on earth was praising this same biblical God under different names. The name Allah is Allah. A-L is a synonym for E-L. So the name Albert derives from the name Albert. The name Albert is where we get the name Delbert from. Put a 1 in the chat room if your third eye open, if you full awake and you're tracking with me so far. I don't want no side conversations. I'm giving y'all some deep shit today. Listen to me. I need to see the ones to let me know. Come on, guys, that way, that I ain't wasting my time. So check out what I'm saying, because this is very deep. The name El is also the name Al. The name El refers to is basically a masculine or patriarchal name of the earth's true source and frequency. So the word God is just dealing with the original frequency of the earth, that vibratory frequency that sustains all life. That's all God is, a frequency, a vibration. That's why you're introduced to God through the word, and God said, I am the word, because the words are the vibrations that shape the physical world. You see what I'm saying? If I give you a pile of dirt, that ain't nothing. But if I point if I give you a pile of wood and some nails, that ain't nothing. But if I point at the pile of wood and nails and I say house, you will shape that matter into a house. If I point at that same pile of wood and nails and say boat, you will shape that physical material into a boat. So that's why God spoke creation into existence. That's why I do sacred geometry and etymology, because the shape of something is determined by the sound vibration that resonates with it. You see what I'm saying? Now check how deep this is, because I'm going somewhere deep right now. The true frequency of the earth is the same frequency we go to when we go to sleep at night in order to rest our body. And the sound that lets you know that, one of the sounds associated with refreshment or renewal is ah. So if you're real thirsty and you drink some water, you say ah. Ah was the name of God in Egypt at one point. Look up the God Aha. That's the same sound we make when we become enlightened. You say aha, because enlightenment is refreshment to the soul. So when you drink water, you say ah. And when you get enlightenment, you say aha. It's all refreshment or renewal. The reason I'm telling you that is because when you take the biblical name El, which is Al in Sumerian, and add the vibration that we use to refer to refreshment, which is ah, you get the God Allah. Allah. Also, if you look up the word Valhalla, which is the name of Sumerian heaven, you will see that if you take the V off it, it becomes Alhala, which is translated to Allah. You see what I'm saying? The reason I'm telling you all this is because the God Allah or Ella, where we get the name Bella, Delbert, Albert, Albert, L is Al. What I'm trying to get you to see today is that, yes, Valhalla, you get it. If you take the Val off of it, it's Hala. This the God that hollered creation into existence. This God is famous for yelling or speaking creation into existence. When you yell, you just said the name El. El is yell. Hala is Allah. This is the God that spoke the universe into existence, or hollered it, or hala. Now, the reason I'm going here is because another name of this God, there you go, Warren, hallelujah, there you go. You see the God Allah and alleluia, or hallelujah. Just to show you that Christians or Muslims are worshiping the same God. That's what we're doing today. Now I'm going to use sacred geometry to prove without a shadow of a doubt that they're both worshiping the same God. Okay, because listen, right, this God that he just referred to called Enlil is the God El. It's another way of saying El, Enlil. And the reason I'm showing you this God is so we can compare it to just a minute. Now we're about to start getting into our sacred geometry. And now we're going to blow you to hell. We're going to blow you away right now, man. I'm about to blow y'all away. I'm about to blow y'all away right now. Now the God El is also the Egyptian God Osiris. All you got to do is look at sacred geometry. You ain't going to get this like this from Billy. Billy ain't going to give it to you like that now. Billy, you see why I don't charge for this, Billy? Billy, you see why I don't charge for it, Billy? Hey, Billy. Billy, you see why I don't charge for it, right, Billy? We're going to sit that right there for Billy, y'all. And we ain't going to call him Billy. We're going to call him Billy. All right? We're going to call him Billy. Now, Billy, listen to me, Billy. Look at here, Billy. Now, Billy. This is what we're looking at right now, Billy. The God that you just referred to, called Enlil, is also the God Osiris. Sacred geometry shows what I'm talking about. Look at what they see, the same instrument that Osiris holding, those are instruments you use in electricity. If I got any electricians in the chat, like my brother One World, One Hood, he already told us how these things that the pharaohs are holding are basically electrical instruments. He went over that in a live stream. Talk to an electrician. That electrician gonna tell you those two items that Osiris is holding is part of the tools that they use when they dealing with electricity. Look, the same thing that the God Enlil is holding in his hand, that would have been used to generate energy. How did these gods become powerful? Because they started generating power and they started charging people for it. You know how you charge your cell phone? That's because your cell phone is dead and you putting power into your cell phone. So when they charge us, they're empowering us now, and Mother Nature ain't empowering us. If you ain't got a lot of money, you gonna die, man. You can't feed yourself. That's because nature don't empower us no more. Man does. Money is the new currency. Y'all better listen to me. This what went on when these gods was erected on earth. We broke our connection with Mother Nature. You didn't need no money to eat. All you needed to do was get out there and toil the doggone ground. But when these people took over lands and created money and then started monopolizing the secrets of free energy, meaning you can't create it, it's against the law, only we can. That's how they created this slave system that we in today. If you ain't got money, you can't eat. The earth didn't create money, but it created much food for your ass to eat, and the earth ain't charging you. Man is. That's how man become God. He gets in between you and that which you need to sustain yourself. So now let's get into some more sacred geometry. Who is this God Enlil or Osiris? Well, let me show you other forms of him if you would be so kind to give me about a minute to access my slides, we're gonna sync this God to several gods around the world that are that represents this same God. Give me 1 minute here. Okay. Now this next collage is pretty deep, folks. This the same God that started the New World Order. Now I'm gonna shrink some of these so we can. This is what I do for your third eye. I put it all side by side, and buddy, does it stimulate y'all brains? It do it for me. I learned like this when I was a child. You put everything side by side, man, and let's weigh it out. And buddy, does your third eye love you? See, y'all third eye loves me for this kind of teaching, because it get to put it all side by side and say, oh, I see. Which I see it. Not them two that's looking at it. That ain't what said, aha. The third eye is what said, oh, bro Sanchez, I see it now. The two eyes just brought the image in. But if I don't put it all together like this, you don't get that same effect. And this is why a lot of people, they know I'm dangerous. They know my style of teaching is dangerous. Now, let me set the screen up because we about to get it in. There we go. That's all right with me. Let's leave it there. Now look at this, folks. Just look at everything there. You got to understand something right now, right? The God that we call Enlil is the God El. El is another form of Atum or Aten. Because how do I make that connection? Osiris and Aten are synonymous. Osiris and Aten are synonymous. People was calling this God different names in different places and different names at different times. So it can become quite confusing. Now check this out. The God Aten in Egyptian wasn't pronounced Aten by the Norse people. So the Norse people, when they started worshiping Enlil or Aten, they didn't call it Aten. They call it Aten. Aten. This is how Norse people talk. Norse people have a hard time saying like Aten. The way they pronounce their words are very hard. So Aten to the Norse people became Aden or Odin. Aden is Odin. Odin is Aden. And Aden is what the Egyptians call Aten. That T and that D can be very tricky when you're going across different regions. Some people can't really do a t. It becomes a d, you know, because they talk, you know, like this. They don't, or, you know, tis becomes this. In Jamaica, this become tis. You know, like my country, tis of the. I mean, this is phonetics. I'm going to teach you a little bit as we go. So people, a lot of intricate research go into my conclusions. All right, now listen now. What we also got to realize is the God Aten is also the God Satan. Aten is Satan or Aten is Satan. Now Satan is also Santa. That's why when you look at the image of Satan over there on the far right, you see the children around his throne too. Just like Santa, just like with Aten and Aten. See, the sacred geometry is what's gonna connect all of this and let you see what was going on the earth, not let you hear what was going on. When I put all this in front of your face like that, it lets you see the syncretism. Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because everything he about to say now about the God Enlil is his attempt to sell us that God like it was our God. See what they do? They say Jesus and Allah and all them gods. Our true God is Enlil, or our true God is Osiris. The Kemetic people do it too, but they don't say Enlil. Some of them say Osiris or Asar, which is this same deity. This is the god Saturn. So if you look at the stripes, that's where we get the American flag from, people. That's the reason, that's the connection between Egypt and America. If you ever wondered why a pyramid is on your damn dollar, that's the connection between Egypt and America. The fact that our governing system comes from Egypt. And Enlil was the first god of the New World Order. He has other names like Narmer and Menes. We'll be getting into that in a minute here. We had to understand this part before we go further. So you can see that he's selling you Saturn again. What he's about to do, the reason I did what I'm doing now, because he's about to use Enlil as a point of singularity to build his argument on to sell us the ET theory. But it's all founded upon this god Saturn, y'all. So his whole foundation I just destroyed right there. That's a nail in the coffin, because what I just showed you is the god called Enlil in the bottom left corner is damn Satan. So now you trying to get us to worship Satan. This is facts, y'all. This is Baphomet worship. That's why I say I'm suspect of this dude. That's why I said, bro, this dude is some kind of Mason, or he's just ill-informed, because he giving our people Baphomet worship, whether he know it or not. This is Baphomet worship. Now, before I go any further, if you guys want me to, I can show you other forms of the Baphomet in Africa so you can see he's giving you the devil, man. Look. And in the early day, the god Enlil was worshipped in West Africa and all parts of Africa too. The goat god. And his name was Lekba. Lekba. Papa Lekba is actually the Baphomet. That Papa Lekba wears the top hat. And who else wears the top hat? Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam is the Baphomet. Before we move any further, let me show y'all something. The little black dude on the throne right there with the horns on his head, that's the earliest African version of the Baphomet. People worship this deity all over the world, and we're still worshiping it today. Sacred geometry makes this thing so clear that you'll be a fool trying to debate me. Now let me show you the connection between Lekba. Hold on. Lekba and Uncle Sam. And then we'll get deep into the video. This is a African deity called Papa Lekba. And Lekba is the African form of this god El. His name is not originally Lekba. His name is Papa Elikba. Elikba. The root word of Elikba is El. This is just another version of the Reaper. He's a death god. Look at the top hat. This is why the Freemasons wear the top hat, in honor of Papa Elikba. He was called Papa, just like the God of the Bible was called Papa or Abba or Father. Father. Why does he wear a top hat? Because people, Uncle Sam is older than y'all think. I just showed you the American flag on the throne of Osiris. I showed you the American flag on the throne of Osiris. Why did I do it though? Hold up a second. I just showed you the American flag on the throne of Osiris, and I'm making a connection. Look at here. Look at Uncle Sam, y'all. You ain't gonna get this kind of knowledge nowhere else. Look at Uncle Sam. Now look at Papa Lekbach. That's the same deity, guys. But Billy Carson ain't gonna tell y'all this. Either he don't know this or he part of the problem, man. This is the same God, y'all. Uncle Sam carry a stick too. You know who else this is? This is the monopoly man. Because he the one created the goddamn monopoly that we all victims to right now. There's a big monopoly that the damn rich got going on against the Pope. And look, this monopoly man showing you one eye. Illuminati shit. That's why he got one eye. This is the god Saturn, that one eye god that you see on that pyramid with the one eye showing. That's the God that created money. The root word of monopoly, money, mono. We dealing with a one God system. See, there's one power in the world, and that's money. It don't matter if it's the UK peso, the American dollar, the goddamn won in China, Korea, whatever your currency is. Money is all called money, which is mon-I. Mon means one. I means one eye. Money referring to the one eye God, Cyclops, Saturn. Mon-I, one eye. On your money is a one eye. On a pyramid, one eye. You see everybody doing this when they got a lot of money. They do this, right? They're paying reverence to the God that created the money in the first place. All of this comes from Egypt, but it started government, the concept of government started to spread all over the world. So the monopoly man is this same deity. It's the one-eyed God. He only show you one eye. Look, mon-I. Look at the American flag right there. These are the same deity in front of you, people. So in a lot of Papa Lekbach images, what you will see is Papa Lekbach. Let me see if I can find it. Because in a lot of his images, he got a 5-pointed star on his hat. Maybe I can find it this way. So like images like this, you can't really see it, but even though that's art, whoever did that, they know what I'm talking about. I ain't gonna waste your time. You can look, you can verify what I'm saying on your own time. But in a lot of these images, just like the one we see here, he got a 5-pointed star right there. This the same God, y'all. Uncle Sam. Now, let's move on. Now that we got that out the way, we will also sync this God to somebody else. And then we'll move forward. Didn't I tell y'all I was going to be thorough? I want to be thorough. He just mentioned the God Enlil. And I'm showing you that this God was worshipped around the world in so many forms. Here's another version. This God was called Shamash. Shamash is another form of Enlil. Now this is a God called Utu. Utu is another name of the same God. Let me put the God back up there. Look at there. They identical, man. Now when you look at the throne of Utu, you can see the two pillars of government. That's what those represent. When you see the stripes on the throne of Osiris, that represent what? Red and blue are the polarity. Stripes are division. This the God that orders out of chaos or divides and conquer. These two lines represent Democrat, Republican. The system we under today goes all the way back to medieval times. That's what I'm telling you. They was casting votes in ancient Rome. They was voting for their Caesar. That's what I'm telling you. So this is the God Shamash. This is the God Shamash. I'm doing this so you can tie them all together and you can see he's giving you this same, he might as well just gave you the Bible. That's what I don't like what these comedic folks do. They go back and talk about Osiris and Asar and Enlil and Enki. They talk about all these gods like they ain't the same biblical God. It's just that same Bible God under a different name, y'all. And I'm proving that right now. That you never stop believing in goddamn Santa Claus. I ain't lying. I ain't lying. All of you niggas still believe in Santa Claus. Look at here. When you don't stop believing in that Santa Claus gonna give you some gifts. Let me show y'all how they trick these niggas. When I was in the church, I prayed for Jesus to tell Jesus what I want. I told Jesus, Lord, bless me with a car. Lord, bless me with a pretty woman. But as a child, guess what? You prayed to Santa the same way. Your mama told you, tell Santa Claus what you want. And how did you tell Santa? You closed your eyes and you prayed to Santa. I'm telling you that Jesus is Zeus, Jesus, and Zeus is another form of Odin. They just keep re-giving you this same God that you pray to for your gifts and shit. That's the same shit. People, listen to me. They train your children on how to pray for gifts out and to get some kind of blessing or some kind of gift outside of themselves by giving them Santa. Then when they grow up, they tell them, well, Santa was fake and they give them Jesus. But they ain't doing them but giving a more advanced form of Santa Claus. And Jesus and Santa is the same deity, same concept that produce the same actions. It keeps us praying to some white dude for some gifts or some blessing and hoping it show up under the tree. Because think about it. You prayed for a lot of shit. You prayed to Santa Claus, I want a remote control car. Santa Claus, I want a PlayStation. Santa Claus, I want the Jordans. But when the Christmas came, your mama may not have got everything you asked Santa Claus for. Why did you keep believing in Santa Claus? Because your mama probably told you Santa Claus gave you the gifts he thought you should have, baby. Just like when you pray for that Benz and Jesus give you the neon. And you say, well, I'm still blessed. This is what the Lord want me driving. Y'all don't see the same mind games they playing with your children? Y'all still believe in Santa Claus? Any kind of God you asking for a gift or a blessing and you praying to him outside of yourself, it's the Santa or the Satan ideology. I can't make it no clearer than that, man. It's the same deity for different people, man. So I'm just gonna play the video from now because ain't no need of me keep beating that horse. I've proven that this dude starting his argument off wrong already. You ain't giving us no ancient knowledge. You giving us Jesus and Santa all over again, Billy. See, Billy, we don't care that you call Christ Enlil. It's still goddamn Christ. It's still, you just another pastor. The Sumerian tablets ain't no different than the Bible. They had tablets in the Bible. Yeah, they had the two pillars, the two tablets was the law in the Bible. It's the same God that gave the Sumerians their tablets and the same God that was making prophecy in the so-called emerald tablets. Why all of these tablets look like McDonald's arches? It's the same damn deity all over the world giving everybody tablets. Every got a goddamn tablet. These tablets. And let me tell you something, y'all. A tablet ain't worth shit. Don't you know that the word tabloid come from the word tablet? When you read the gospel, that ain't shit but the gossip. You might as well be using the tabloids if you using the tablets. The ancient form of the goddamn tabloids was the gospel, the gossip, the goddamn tablets. And everybody was reading them and gossiping. Ooh, did you know that the king gonna pass this law and that law and this law? The Bible was actually being written during the time that the lords of the Bible was ruling the people on earth. The Bible was not finished yet when these people was ruling. They was in the process of ruling. The Bible is the history of their rulership. That's why when you read the Bible, it tell you what king did what Pharaoh did what Caesar did what, at what time. How the hell was the Bible finished yet when they was recording the events of the Caesars and Pharaohs in the Bible? Use your head. Oh, this why they don't want to debate me, y'all. They talking about history as if they had the complete Bible already when Enlil and all them was walking the earth. Told y'all, don't get this deep. I'm a different kind of predator out here, man. I'm a different kind of predator in these YouTube streets, baby.
Genetic modification of existing peoples that were already here. These are black people that were here already. And they decided they were going to try to manipulate them in a way to get them to do the work for them, the workload that they had, where they were doing a lot of strip mining of the planet. They were actually making this planet into like a breakaway civilization. And they decided to do some genetic modification. They didn't create human beings, but they genetically modified who would have been now our cousins. Somebody that was an existing hominid on this planet, probably more intelligent than us consciously because their skulls were bigger. We found.
You see how I'm debunking this pseudoscience? If anybody watched my video yesterday, I already debunked this. He just said black extraterrestrials live on the earth first because the oldest skulls we finding have long, elongated craniums. Check this out. I'm finna debunk him so bad, now y'all gonna tell me to take it easy on him after this. Watch this right. Y'all gonna cringe when I say this. Now look at this, y'all. This is called artificial cranial deformation. I already went over this yesterday. Now, what did I teach you yesterday? I said that during the time people was doing this was body art, y'all. Listen to me. Niggas are so dumb, they use pseudoscience to fill in the fact that they don't do proper research. I want you guys to pay up. If you don't know about what I'm saying now, please watch part 1 of this. Let's look up the definition of artificial cranial deformation. Artificial cranial deformation or modification head flattening or head binding is a form of body alteration in which the skull of a human being is deformed intentionally. It is done by distorting the normal growth of a child's skull by applying force. And I actually showed you proof of that. Here go a baby right here. When you're a baby, your skull is still soft. And if they start wrapping a tight bandage around your head, over time your shit will become a cone head. Look. Now the question is this though. This time out black extraterrestrials. Check this out, right? They finding skulls on the earth, right? And what he trying to get you to believe is that the skulls that they finding are from some creatures that look like this. Billy Carson, you so stupid. No disrespect, but you stupid because you got a book written and you didn't even do your research on artificial cranial deformation. That's a fail, bro. Epic fail. Look here, people. He's selling you this, which we can't prove, and I'm selling you this, which we can prove. I just won the whole debate, bro, right there. Because guess what? He can't show me a gray alien, but I can show you people with the skulls he talking about still walking the earth now, and they do not look like this. It's people that still practice this on the earth right now. They still practicing head binding today. Do this look like a alien to you? No, that look like somebody's grandma. That don't look like E.T., nigga. This don't look like no E.T. Why are you trying to sell us motherfucking E.T. right here? He trying to use these skulls that they finding to say this what we come from. When I'm showing you the skulls that they finding is an ancient practice called head binding, dude. Quit with the pseudoscience. Go look up ACD, dude. Go look up artificial cranial deformation. This is a long lost art of body sculpt. This is body art. Today, some get their tongue slitted so they can have a snake tongue. It's some people with a big damn stick in their lip. It's some people that scratch their earlobes out. It's some with piercings. It's some people with tattoos all over their body. You can't even see their skin. Like I said, all of this is just body art, man. We've been into body art for thousands of years. We've been trying to alter the body and make it look the way we want it to look. But when they see stuff like this, they say, well, Yakub made a different human species. Man, this wasn't a different human species. These were the same kind of humans we are, but they had weird body art during that time. So we say, man, they skulls was bigger than ours. They was a different kind of alien hominid or some shit. Bro, ain't no such thing as evolution. The only thing that evolves is our thoughts. And our thoughts shape the world outside. It ain't that nothing is really evolving. We change our minds in different generations. That's like an ancestor coming back today and seeing me with a high top fade saying, yo, they evolved to motherfucking have high tops. No, it's just a new style we wear today. Ain't no evolution. The oldest skulls that we find look like this is because this was back in pre-dynastic time. This would have been the equivalent of how people like Jordans or how people like tattoos. Everybody in the pre-dynastic time practiced ACD. This was the thing to do back then. This was like the beauty standard back then. It was body art, and they still do it today. Just like in some cultures, guess what? Let me show you some culture. People give you this to say Yakub was an alien. Remember that it was all them practicing ACD, y'all. None of these folks was aliens. Yakub, the big-headed scientist. Yo, I got news for you. It was a lot of big-headed scientists back in them days. It was a lot of big-headed mothers and big-headed sportsmen and big-headed swordsmen and big-headed gardeners and big-headed motherfucking gymnastics people. Everybody back then had the big heads because that was their style back then. Just like everybody in our grandma time had afros and shit. But they trying to say our ancestors were alien because these niggas never researched ACD. Furthermore, these niggas are so dumb because you can't prove aliens exist when you look at them skulls that they found. But what you can prove is people who practice ACD exist. Who theory make most sense, mine or his, y'all? If I found a bunch of skulls around the earth with long heads, and I see people still walking the earth with long heads, why would I say that the skulls are alien motherfucking people? Instead of, hey, maybe them skulls was us living during a time. See, let me tell you something. It's only a very few cultures around the earth that still practice this form of body art. But if I was a scientist and I found a bunch of elongated skulls around the earth, you know what I would say? I would say, oh, ACD must have been a common practice at one time. Because guess what? Brother Sanchez is actually smart. Nothing in me would say, see, ET existed. We black extraterrestrials. Do this look like ET to you? Think about what I'm saying, bro. What I'm saying, it debunks his shit, y'all 100%. Any reasonable scientist would say, hey, maybe these skulls prove that at one point in the ancient world, everybody was deforming their skulls intentionally, practicing the body art called ACD. It's not common today. But if I find a bunch of skulls all around the earth that link back to a certain pre-dynastic era, as a scientist, that'll be the most accurate statement you can make, is that ACD was common practice at one point. Or you can make the statement that we come from ET. But which one make most sense? Because I can prove mine. It's still people walking around with elongated skulls proving my point. But you don't still see a race of Anunnaki or a race of alien or ET walking around. You don't see that. What we still see walking around is cultures who practice ACD. I just won the debate right there. I can shut up now and let him keep going. I'm really not sparing the rod. I'm really doing him bad, y'all. I kind of feel sorry for him, but I got to give it to him.
The skulls, and which means the pineal gland was probably bigger. The DNA was very similar, though. But these became the chosen people of God, the people who are like the original Hebrews, which were the original Jews.
Here he go trying to sell you the concept of a creator creating a bunch of humans and having a favorite kind. Y'all, that's crazy as hell. He giving you the same biblical shit. But instead, he telling you, you ain't the Gentile. You actually the Jew. You the Hebrew. This is just the same thing that the Hebrew Israelites doing. We identify with slavery, y'all, and that's sad. That's why they call it slave culture. Slavery has become something we identify with. Why you think the Hebrews call themselves Israelites? Because they can identify or relate to the people in mythology who were enslaved. Why do you think this call us black extraterrestrials or space Hebrews? Because it was said that the Anunnaki created us as a race of slaves. Listen to me, that's called manifest destiny. If the Anunnaki is God or the God race, then their will was for us to be slaves. Farrakhan said the same shit. He said it was the will of Allah for black people to be slaves as the chosen people of God. And he started naming a bunch of shit. Why it was the will of God, saying because we the strongest and it was necessary for us to know who we are and all that. I said, well, if God wanted my damn ancestors to be raped just to learn who I am, then fuck God. I don't want to never know who the fuck I am. If got to get hung and burnt alive for you to know who you are, it ain't that deep. I don't got to know who I am, bro. It ain't that deep. Fuck it. You can call me who you want. If children gotta get thrown to alligators for me to know who I am, then I don't want to know who I am. I'm serious. I don't even want to know who the fuck I am. It ain't even that deep, my nigga. This is how they sell you manifest destiny, y'all. They try to tell you it was God's will for your people to be enslaved just so they can be chosen. Nigga, you can take this little title back called chosen if chosen mean I was just chosen to be a slave. You take pride in slavery. This kind of mentality right here is why in the hood argue about who struggled the most. White people argue about who didn't struggle the most. You feel feel like you ain't really black for real if you didn't struggle. Because you identify struggle as a part of your culture. And it's sad. Let me show you how sad it is. When you think of skiing, you think of white people. When you think of kung fu and martial arts, you think of Asian people. When you think of struggling, you think of niggas. Because we've made struggle a part of our culture. We identify ourselves with suffering. So much so that a nigga would joke on you if you grew up and you didn't go through nothing. That's sad. That's sad that you identify. People think about it. Carlton on Fresh Prince didn't struggle. Will Smith struggled. And who got all the girls and who was the coolest? Will Smith. But he didn't have a stable household. Carlton was considered the square because he was smart and grew up without struggling. And that's how they make the struggle life attractive to you. You think if you grew up with a good daddy and a good household with money and you were stable, that damn it, I'm a square. Rich black kids go to the hood just to hang out in the gutter to get their stripes. This is why we moving backwards. We identify with struggle so much, a nigga got more interviews about what he went through than what he overcame. I said we identify with struggle so goddamn much, we got more damn portrait out there talking about what we went through than what we overcame. I gotta smoke, man. If you read the story of the Anunnaki, it tells you that the Anunnaki created a slave race to mine gold. They doing that in Africa right now. They got slaves over there mining diamonds and gold for a nickel a day. And it ain't the goddamn Anunnaki making them do it, nigga. You pride yourself in being a black extraterrestrial because you identify with the slavery. The nigga told you you was the Anunnaki. He told you you was the slave race that they created. Because that's how we find ourselves in slavery struggle. Show us where some people struggle at, and guess what? They're going to say, oh, that's us right there. Struggle? Oh, they were struggling? They're my ancestors. Oh, they were slaves? That's us right there, baby. Did someone say slaves? Oh, that'll be me. It ain't what they call us. It's what we answer to. They called you a slave and you answer to it. And you start to identify as a slave. So no matter what mythology you give black people, they're going to find a people within that mythology who was in bondage and identify themselves with the slaves. It's ridiculous. It's a sick psychosis, y'all.
Jewish people are not, don't hail from Khazaria, okay? Khazarians are the Caucasian that inherited the faith from the Ethiopians, from the black people. Black people are the original Hebrews, the original Jews, and their ancestors are spread out all over the planet and have been for many thousands of years. Long before slavery even existed, there were already black people on every single corner of this planet.
He's giving you the Black Adam and Eve theory, which says that the first two humans on earth were black people. People, if the first two humans on earth, this Black Adam and Eve theory, if you had a black man, black woman, where did all the other races come from? And why were they practicing incest? If the earth if humans started from one black man and one black, see, they just chocolate coding the Bible. I told you yesterday, if he giving you the same lie the white man giving you, just because he chocolate coded don't make it not a lie. It makes it now a chocolate coated lie, that's all. When a black man tell you a lie, is it the truth just because it's a black man saying it? The white man can't convince me that all of humanity started from one white man and one white woman, and this black man can't convince me that all of humanity started from one black man and one white and one black woman. The Chinese man can't convince me that creation started from one yellow man and one yellow woman. I'm smart enough to know that the human population come from a bunch of different kind of humans at one time. Now let me explain what I'm telling you. In your mind, you think when humanity started on the earth, it was one man, one woman, probably in their mid-30s. When no children, when no old folks. It was a big ass earth with just two people on it. Think about how stupid you sound. When God made the trees, God made seeds, because the tree is the seed too. You can't have a tree without the seed. So when God made the trees, God made seeds. God made big trees, little trees, and trees of all motherfucking kind of colors. God didn't make one mid-aged tree that was male, one mid-aged tree that was female, and it was just one type. And them two trees gave birth to apples, orange trees. That's stupid. So why would God do that with humans? Why would God start off of earth with two middle-aged humans and no old folks, no babies? I think when God created humans, God created us just like the flowers, all different ages. When God created humans, God created teenagers, old folks, little babies, sperm cells, eggs. All different phases of the human was created simultaneously. That's like saying God created one female whale, one male whale, and it was just the blue whale, and they started and gave birth to all the other whale types. Why wouldn't God make humans in totality? God don't do nothing half-assed.
Hebrews, the original Hebrews, which are the black Jews, still have their temples in Ethiopia, which is where I was going to go this summer before the COVID-19. I was going to go out there to see the Lalibela temples, which are the temples that they have there that are carved out of a mountain from the outside going in using technology. But they still have their temples. They still read the Torah, the original Torah. They speak Hebrew. They write, from right to left.
Adam, hold on, Adam, did you just call me? Let me just say something real quick, because I'm watching the chat today. I'm going to replay this. I'm trying to see if Adam in the chat room popping shit at your boy. Seemed like Adam Geringer is calling me a idiot and all kind of shit, and he's a moderator. Adam, you referring to me as a idiot, bro? I need to know that. It don't look good for moderators to talk that way about the channel owner. But I might not have been paying attention, because Adam my dude, so I know I'm probably just tripping now. Yeah, let me play the video. Shout out to my brother Adam Geringer. I see Sir Drop out there too.
The black, they still have their temples in Ethiopia, which is where I was going to go this summer before the COVID-19. I was going to go out there to see the Lalibela temples, which are the temples that they have there that are carved out of a mountain from the outside going in using technology. But they still have their temples. They still read the Torah, the original Torah. They speak Hebrew. They write, from right to left. They're the ones who taught the Khazarians the faith, and then the Khazarians took the faith and migrated with it back to Europe and spread it around Europe. Even though the Ethiopians and the blacks are the original Hebrews, which were quote unquote God's chosen people, they still have been banned from going into Israel to this very day and living there. They've really been banned from taking their real true lineage there. But they still persist in Africa where they originated. But these space Hebrews, the reason why I call them space Hebrews is because
the term space Hebrew is so funny to me. It just shows you how pseudo we are today. But let me make one more point though. When they say we're God's chosen people, remember that the name God is the word master. When they say we're master's chosen people, think about slavery. What does the God in heaven want to make? Servants. Servitude is slavery. The God in heaven wants your service. Your servants is what make you a servant or a slave. Yeah, we chosen, but what they're not telling you is that you was chosen to pick motherfucking cotton. You was chosen to motherfucking go out there and tar master's field. Yeah, he telling you we God's chosen people. The slave master was God. And yes, God chose his slaves. They went to an auction. And your master, he selected you for the job. He selected you for your service or your servitude. See, we're taking these words and we're trying to make them so mythological that we forget the real reality of it here. The people who practiced slavery learned it from the Bible. The Bible is a book of manifest destiny. The God of the Bible created the first slaves, which was the goddamn angels. The angels were created to be servants of God. And they were servants in heaven. What you think them angels doing in heaven? The will of God, not their own will. They following orders in heaven. Them streets of gold gotta be swept, you know. How do you think the slave master justified having servants or slaves or having people in servitude? His God had the same thing. Them angels in heaven gonna do what they're told, just like that damn slave is. If there's any cotton to be picked in heaven, you better believe God ain't gonna be doing it. You better believe them damn angels gonna be doing it. Slavery is slavery. I wanna do my will, not the will of some God. You can't sell slavery to me by saying, well, you was chosen. No, I was chosen to pick cotton. You happy about that? You was chosen to be a slave. Back when they had the goddamn auctions, what you think happened? The slave master hand selected his motherfucker. He said, turn him around, let me see his muscles. Yeah, I'm gonna choose him to be the who run my carrot field. What about her? I heard she's good at tending to grapes. How much is she? I need someone for my grape field. Maybe I'm gonna choose her for that. She was chosen for her service. Today, we look at it like a good thing. He just told you we were chosen people of God, black Hebrews. And how do we know that's us? It's because we was in bondage. It was slavery. The Anunnaki had us mining gold. But he's proud of his own slavery just to be able to hold on to the title of chosen one. Not never asking the question, what were you chosen for? To pick cotton, to mine gold. You weren't chosen to be above your oppressor. If that was the case, we'll be in a better position than we are now. You was chosen to lead the world in the poorest economic motherfucking situation out of all the races. You was chosen to lead the world in motherfucking genocide amongst your own people. You was chosen to motherfucking lead the world in the lowest IQ. You was chosen to lead the world and the people who have the less knowledge of self. When you tell me I'm chosen, I don't get happy. I get worried. I say, hold on, chosen for what? But niggas just got happy because we the chosen people. Yeah, we were slaves. You was chosen for servitude. Listen, just like the God of the Bible created the angel to serve, the slave master created the slave to be a slave. You wasn't always a slave. The slave master had to whip and train you on how to be a slave. The slave mind was created just like God created the angel's mind. The angels don't think for themselves. They do what they're told, and they were actually created to be servants. The angels were not created to be gods. God created the angels to be his servants and nothing more. All that angel could ever be to God is a damn servant. You were created to be a slave. You were chosen to be a slave. But you don't see how you happy about it though. You happy about, you identify with it though.
Lineage there, but they still persist in Africa where they originated. But these space Hebrews, the reason why I call them space Hebrews is because the people that tinkered with their DNA were also, it was a race. Now, the race of these Anunnaki people are a little mixed depending on the text and the age of the text. But there's a particular race of the Anunnaki. Anunnaki is a generalized term. It doesn't mean one specific group of people. This is what a lot of people have not learned because they haven't read all the texts. When you spread the text out from different sources, you realize that there's different races of Anunnaki. Anunnaki just means people who came from heaven to earth or from space to this planet.
A bunch of pseudoscience. A bunch of pseudoscience. These people have a problem with Christian spirituality, but they refer to the sky as heaven. Heaven is exclusive to the Hebrew, to the Christian text. There is no word for heaven in Islam called heaven. It's called Valhalla. In other cultures, it's called something else. If you want to, in the chat room, you can give them some other names of heaven in other cultures. Asgard was the name of heaven to the Norse, and it's two words, astral garden. The astral garden is the astral realm, that is heaven. People have different names for heaven, but what I'm showing you about him, he's doing them but chocolate coating Christianity. He's selling you heaven again. Heaven isn't a place, guys. Heaven is a state of being. I'm going to say this again to Bella. Hey, Bella. Heaven ain't a place you can get in a car or a rocket and go to. It's a place you manifest from within. It's a state of being, bro. Ain't a dang on location. Did you know that, Billy? He talking about the word Anunnaki means some people that came from heaven. That's a goddamn lie. That's the same goddamn concept that the Romans gave they people, saying that the Olympians descended to create the humans. The Greek Olympian gods, the original pantheon of the Greeks, descended into the flesh to create humans. There are other mythologies that say that the angels made it with a form of our ancestor that was a different humanoid. Again, evolution again. Angels made with humans to create a Homo sapien. They said there was an advanced race of humans that occupied the earth because they had big heads. And those big-headed humans actually had sex with the angels to create us. That was one of the Roman versions, and there are several others. But what I'm telling you is he's giving you the same shit. That's a bunch of pseudoscience. Anunnaki don't mean no people from heaven. It doesn't mean no people from heaven. Anunnaki mean Anu, which is the word God, Nagi, which is another form of a chosen people. Because the Nagas or the Nakis were the people who held the secrets of the serpent. And what I'll do now before we go further is show y'all what I'm talking about. I'm going to close all of these because we don't need them anymore. We already know about artificial cranial deformation. I only want to keep up the stuff that I'm going to need so I don't get confused. Now, bear with me. Bear with me. I'm setting up the screen because I'm about to now teach you guys. We're about to enter more of my slides. He's saying a lot in a little bitty line. And instead of me just running through it, I'm trying to actually show you what he's saying. So you don't, because I'm actually teaching, not just talking. I'm going so much into detail with what's being said that you got to give your boy a thumbs up for that. I'm being thorough with y'all. I'm taking my precious time to do it. We finna talk about the Anunnaki right now, because this is what Billy Carson ain't showing you. Check this out, y'all. Now I'm finna blow you the hell away. Now you about to be like Bro Sanchez, you the GOAT. Watch this. Here is a God called Anu. Remember what I told you earlier? The God Anu ain't nothing but another form of all the other gods I'm telling you. Enlil, El, Allah, Santa, Satan, Aten. I just showed you that. When you say Anunnaki, you're saying basically the chosen people of Anu, the God Anu. And this is the God Anu. Right here. This God takes several forms. Remember, one of his names is El. Now let me show you something, right? This is where we about to get deep at. Let's check out the God Anu. Look at here. Here go Anu right here. Now tell me I don't know what I'm talking about, Billy. Billy, why you keep giving us Santa Claus? People, look at this picture. You don't remember learning about this God as a child? Santa Claus and the little elves. I should get a Nobel Peace Prize for this goddamn research. That boy good. That boy good. I want to take the time and ask that if you follow this channel and you appreciate the work that we do, we cannot do it without your support. And one way you can support us is by becoming a member of this channel. And with your channel membership, you will be able to access perks like members only chat room, members only live streams, members first content, and so much more. Thank you so much in advance for becoming a member of this channel. This is where we get the mythology of Santa and his little elves from, bro. I'm telling you, this the same God. Look at here. This is the God Anu, y'all. That's the God Enlil in the bottom left corner. See, when you say Anunnaki, all you saying is Anu, which is their God, El, and Naki, which is the serpent people or chosen people. You're saying the chosen people of Anu, Naki. But that's not who we are. That is not who we are. That ain't who we are, bro. Let me go to something else real quick. Hold on. Actually, let's come back to that later. Hold on a second. There. So this is the God Anu. Let me show you other forms of Anu. He takes several other forms now. Now this is where it's gonna get deep right here now. Billy Carson up there telling you about the God Anu, right? But guess what he ain't telling you? The God Anu was the fighting of the flat earth. This God up there, this dude Billy Carson up there telling you about Hebrews, but he ain't dealing with Hebrew cosmology. He talking about Anunnaki, but he ain't breaking it down the way I'm breaking it down. He's selling books, and his books ain't gonna give y'all this. Look at what I'm showing you here. Let me show y'all some, man, to people with a third eye to see. if you got your third eye open, listen to me. Sacred geometry is why they don't debate me, y'all. My third eye so open, I can see this shit. I'm finna show you how the God Anu hid the true flat earth, and why this dude praising Anu and talking about Hebrew, but ain't dealing with flat earth. Because the God Anu hid flat earth from us. Let me show you how. Let's deal with one of these at a time. These are different versions of the God Anu. Now we in the top left corner. I'm gonna blow this up and let's put it next to the flat earth. Y'all, I should get a Nobel Peace Prize for this shit. And I'm giving it to you for free. I don't even gotta talk. Let me drink my water. Look at these images and open up your third eye. I don't gotta talk, Billy. Billy, look at here, Billy. Look at that, Billy. You talking against flat earth, and you talking about motherfucking Anunnaki. You can't mention motherfucking Anu without talking about flat earth. Anu represents the motherfucking flat earth. Can't you see it? Can't you see it? Can't you see it? These don't be knowing what they talking about. And this book's the bestseller. In the world where they trying to dumb you down, this nigga's book's the bestseller. So you better think about that, Billy. That's why Superhead book was the bestseller now. In a world where they want everybody dumb, you gonna have the best-selling book, Billy. Let me say that again to Billy. 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 Listen to me, Billy. Man to man. Come here, Billy. Hold up, Billy. Come here. Let me talk to you, Billy. Billy, listen to me, my brother. In the world where they want everybody dumbed down, Billy, your shit gonna be selling off the shelf, Billy. Billy, hold up, Billy. Let me listen to Billy. Listen, Billy. Listen, Billy. I want you to listen, Billy. Come here for a minute. Let me tell you something. Let me holler at you for a minute, bro. You don't get it. You think you so wise, Billy. But let me tell you something, Billy. Billy, hold up, Billy. Listen. In a world, Billy, where they want everybody dumbed down, your shit gonna be selling off the shelf, Billy. Billy, they ain't gonna be able to keep your shit on the shelf long enough. You don't get it, Billy. Let me continue. Billy don't deal with sacred geometry. Billy don't deal with syncretism, phonetics, etymology, numerology. No, he don't. Because if he did, he can show you what I'm doing right now. Look at here, man. Look at here, bro. Don't you know that this God named Anu on the left is just the flat earth? That God was called Saturn, the Lord with the ring around him. Billy, I'm not making it up, Billy. Let me show you something, Billy. We already saw that. Look at the other image, Billy. You see that God got a ring around him? That's why we call him Saturn, Billy. Billy. This is why we call him Saturn, Billy. He the Lord with the ring around him. If you see his arms out like that, he represents the vault of heaven up there, Billy. And Billy, the ring around him represents the Taurus field, Billy. Now let me show you something else, Billy. I'm teaching you a lot, ain't it, Billy? Now look at here, Billy. Look at him now. That's Saturn, the Lord of the Rings. Saturn is why we can't see that we live on a flat earth. This God hid the true Hebrew cosmology. True Hebrew cosmology is behind me now. That God right there is hiding it. Now, don't he look like the that's behind me? He's personifying the flat earth, and you can't get over the person to see the truth, Billy. He ain't the truth, Billy. He's personifying the truth that's behind me. The truth is what's behind me. This here is just a personification of the truth. Once you get past the person, you can see the truth, Billy. Oh, Billy. You blinded by the damn Saturn. You can't see what he really represent, Billy. Now check it out, Billy. When I say that Saturn hid the true shape of the earth, I'm not just saying it, I'm showing it to you. That God name is Saturn. He's hiding the truth that's behind me, Billy. Don't you get it, Billy? Billy, I know you get what I'm showing you, Billy. Let me show you another way, Billy. Billy, I'm going to show you something else because I don't think you believe me yet. He don't believe me. He don't believe me. I'm going to show him. That Saturn hid the shape of the earth from you. See, Billy, there's a planet that they give you called Saturn. And they tell you Saturn was once the sun. That doggone God is the Son of God. Jesus, remember this, guys. Here go another form of Saturn. The form of Saturn that they give you today is right there on the right, Billy. But again, what did I tell you, Billy? I told you Saturn is what hid the true cosmology. Billy, before we had a solar system, they had a concept of Saturn, Billy. And instead of Saturn having rings, each ring was a planet. In our day, they evolved Saturn into the solar system with the sun in the middle. The damn solar system ain't nothing but a bigger Saturn. They made Saturn a part of the solar system, but at one point, Saturn was the solar system. So look at here, Billy. When I tell you Saturn hit the shape of the earth, I'm showing it to you in all way. Billy, I bet you can't do it like me. Bet you can't do it like me. Bet you can't do it like me. No, bet you can't do it like me. Billy, you see how I'm breaking this down, Billy? I'm showing you that in so many ways, Billy. I'm showing you this version with the Hebrew cosmos versus that form of Saturn. They look just alike. I'm showing you this version of Saturn that they giving you today with, again, the Hebrew cosmos on the left. They look just alike. Can't you see the plagiarization, Billy? Don't you know when you look at that planet right there called Saturn, that damn pyramid in the middle is the same all-seeing eye with the light coming out of it on the back of your dollar, Billy? These niggas' third eye is wide closed. Your third eye closed, Billy. And I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you how your goddamn third eye closed, Billy. It ain't never been open. You thought it was, but you just the blind leading the blind. That's right. That's right, Billy. That's you. Think you know it all. But there's so much more to know, Billy. And I'm going to show you something, Billy. Look at here, Billy. Show Billy something else, right? Billy gonna like this, y'all. Billy gonna like Billy Goat Gruff. God damn it, Billy Goat Gruff. Billy gonna like this. Watch this, y'all. I got something for Billy. Billy gonna like this. Watch this. Watch this, Billy. We prepared this just for Billy tonight. Nobody else can get this but Billy. He get the power hour. Because Billy's special to us, right? We like you, Billy. I wouldn't give you this much time if we ain't like, we did this just for Billy. It's Billy's birthday. It's Billy's birthday. It's his birthday, but he gonna cry when I expose you. Cry when I expose you. Cry when I expose you. You would cry too if I exposed your motherfucking ass. You'll cry too. Billy, look at the all-seeing eye of Saturn. Billy, look at it, Billy. I'm going to put it in your face, Billy. Hold on. I'm going to get real up close and personal with Billy. Look, Billy. Show your ass something. Writing all them books and you don't know a damn thing, Billy. Charging people for that damn pseudo sign, Billy. Look, Billy. Don't you see the all-seeing eye? Look at it, Billy. That's Saturn right there. That all-seeing eye on your money, that's Saturn, yep. Don't you see? Don't you see the all-seeing eye, Billy? It's all the same God, money. That's our God today, because that's what empower people. Billy, it's very simple, Billy. Now let me move on. Let me move on. Hold on. Let's move this. I ain't through yet, Billy. Billy thought I was through. No, Billy, I'm going to teach you today. Billy, you ain't off the hook yet. No, Billy. Okay, hold on a minute now. We're going to get back to beating up on Billy some more. But this with love, y'all. He ought to look at this and say, man, look at all what they prepared. But we did it just for you, Billy. Wouldn't have done it for nobody else. We like you, Billy. Now look at here. Look at here. Hold on a minute. We're talking about the God Anu, which is where we get the word Anunnaki. Now let me blow these up a little bit. We dealing with this in the bottom left corner too. So now you see the Anunnaki and how we get this God here. But let me show you some, because I told you, I said this God is also the God El, y'all. Watch this. Watch this. Hold on. Watch this. Here go another form of Anu. Let me blow him up for you. I'm going to get my teacher on today. I ain't come to play, Billy. I ain't come to play, Billy. Not at all. Let's blow this up. Now, the winged God in the bottom left corner, that's the same God up there. His name is Anu or El. Now, people may be wondering, Brother Sanchez, you said that's the God El in the Bible too, and you said that God El is Saturn. Let me show you. Let's pull up the God El, Saturn. Here go to God El, or Saturn is his name. His name is El, and this is the God of the Bible. His name was Baal or Baal as well. Hold up. Hold on. I'm coming. Hold on. I'm coming. Now we see. Here is the God El. Here is the God Anu. Sacred geometry, Billy. All you had to see, Billy, why you ain't writing books teaching them this, Billy? Look, y'all, the God El is behind me. The reason they call him Saturn is because he's the Lord of the rings. These rings right here. Now, what am I showing you, right? Remember I showed you earlier the Dogon. Look, here go the earliest form of El right here. This is a Hindu Naga. When you say Anu and Nagi, you're dealing with the same concept. Here is El. L is in the middle of the wheel or the wheel of life. This is the cosmic wheel, right? L, wheel. Look at him right here. Here's a Hindu version. You see him? This is the Lord of the Rings. This is Saturn. This is Saturn, the serpent. It's the genie, y'all, that created Genesis in the Bible. This is the genie of creation, which the Christians turn to the Genesis of creation. But I'm showing you the plagiarization. I'm showing you that this God El is just a ripoff of our ancestor serpent Nagas. This is called a Nagini or a Naga. So what they did was they blended the God Anu with the concept of Naki or Naki. And they got the word Anunnaki. You get it? This God is called Anu. But this is not an original concept to the people who created the God. They was copying off of shit like this. So the name of this deity is present in the modern term Anunnaki, because the word Naga or Nagu or Nagi is also the Hebrew word Nazi. The G can be pronounced sh as well, or j. So Nagi can be Nazi. Nazi became Nazi. And the symbol of the motherfucking Nazis is the motherfucking Anunnaki. This is what got Hitler killed. This is what got Hitler killed. These were the deities that the ancestors used to teach about creation. That's why the book of Genesis is called Genesis, y'all, because it's named after the genies. This is a damn genie right here. This swirled up Naga, they was called the Nagini. Nagini is where we get the word genie. Let me show y'all something. Here go the Nagini right here. Here go the Naga right here. You see how they plagiarizing, bro? They're plagiarizing. I'm trying to set y'all free. Look at here. Let's pull up the goddamn genie real quick. Look, here go the genie. How you think they get this dude? They don't motherfucking invent nothing new, bro. Them folks ain't original at all. Here go the true. Hold on, this is what I'm gonna do. Give me a minute, because I'm all over the place. Let's do this. Let's put that there. Give me about 1 minute to set this page up. All right, let's put that there. And right here, we're going to put Blue Genie. Okay? I want to do this so we can be clear. All right, hold on. And thank you for your patience, guys. Sometimes I have to go through them little moments to set shit up. People, in the bottom left corner, that's called a genie. On the right, or the picture behind me, is called a Nagini. And on the top left corner, that's called a Hindu Nagini, or serpent gods. The serpent gods were personifications of the sine wave. The universe manifests the wishes of the soul. The universe is responding to you, and you get what you put out. Asking a genie to grant your wishes is the same concept of asking Santa Claus to grant your wishes or asking Jesus to grant your wishes. The whole concept of that, I'm giving it to you now. It's the same concept in different ways. We approach Santa Claus the same way we approach the genie. We have a set of wish lists or a Christmas list, and you got 3 wishes from the genie, 3 gifts he can grant you. It's the same concept all over, man. Now, what I'm telling you is plagiarization. Before we was asking God to grant our wishes, the original science behind the Nagini personifying a sine wave is for the simple fact that sine wave energy is directly related to the laws of attraction, which is directly related to manifesting your will or having the universe grant your wishes. So when you understand how energy flows and connect with the earth, you are in a better position to manifest the wishes of your heart. This is the genie concept. It never was about rubbing a lamp and asking some mythological creature. The mythological creature just represents the sine wave, what really grants your wishes. Because getting into the study of the sine wave is getting into how the universe responds to your actions. All right, so now let me take this further. If you look at the god El, he was the god that started with the book of Genesis. Genesis is the Christian creation story. But what did I just tell you? I told you that in the top left corner, the ancestors would have used that serpent god to teach the children about how creation took place. What do you mean, Brother Sanchez? Let me show you something real quick. See, now I can move all these. We already went through that. We can move that. The most I can click off, the better we're going to go. I can get rid of some of this stuff and I ain't got to keep going over it. I'm going to delete that. I showed you the God on his throne. Now what I'm going to show you. Hold on. That's for another presentation. What am I looking for? It's going to be on one of these. Hold on. Okay, it ain't going to be that one. Give me a minute, guys. Look, man, this is what you got to realize. You see what this, look over here. Look right here. No, I'm confusing y'all. Look in the bottom left corner at the God sitting on the throne. You notice that his throne looked like little ripples, right? Put a 1 in the chat room if you see what I'm talking about. The God in the bottom left corner, the throne he's sitting on looked like a bunch of rings. Put a 1 if you see it. The reason his throne shaped like a ripple effect is because he's a plagiarization of the God above him. That Nagini in the top left corner is sitting on a bunch of ripples too, just like this God. But see, that God is holding instruments that would have generated energy. And this serpent God represents a group of people on earth who had the secrets of free energy. When we talk about the serpent people, we're not talking about people who were literally mixed with the snake. We're talking about the snake was the logo for serpent or energy in the old world. A serpent person would have been no different than what we call an electrician today. It was someone with the knowledge of how to make you generate energy, who studied the serpent. They didn't say electrician in the ancient day. They say, I'm calling up the serpent man to give me some goddamn circuit, some energy. The ancestors had a different vocab. Check this out, y'all. Think about what I showed you with the god El. He's sitting on ripples too. See the ripples he's sitting on? It's this same God, y'all. He only show you one eye. That God gonna only, see, this is what's going on. Pull out a quarter, pull out a dime. All of them presidents got the one eye showing by looking their head this way. That's to show you just one eye. This the one-eyed God. The snake behind me doing the same thing, one eye. Look at the dude on this throne. How many eyes is he showing you? One eye. It's symbolism. He's sitting on them ripples just like this God who's sitting on the ripples showing you the one eye. Syncretism, guys. You can't debate what I'm saying, Billy. Now, let me make sure that's everything before I move forward. All right, hold on. See, this is what I'm going to bring it home with this, and we're going to play the video. Now, look, Billy. Hold on, why it ain't showing all the way? All right, hold on a second. Hold on 1 minute. This is what I'm trying to get right here. You see the Dogon? The Dogon cosmos right there, right? That Dogon cosmos. In the middle of it is Amma, y'all. Look at here. Amma is the one that sits in the middle of the cosmic wheel. That's why I kept showing you the Mayan cosmos. Hold on. This is the Mayan cosmos. The Mayan cosmos looked like a huge ripple effect with the mother goddess in the middle of the one that's causing the ripple effect. This is why Jesus was called the Rock. Remember, they called Jesus the Rock because he's plagiarizing the sacred geometry behind creation and the great mother. Let me show you some. When they told you life was created on earth, they told you a rock crashed onto the earth and this is what created humans. People, listen to me. They gave you a ripple effect. They misinterpreted the science. The ancestors said life is a ripple effect. They recreated the ripple effect with physical science. How can you tell an ethereal or a story that's telling you how the ether created physicality, starting it from physicality? Listen to what I'm telling you, people. This is why they said Jesus is the rock. Because the rock is what started life. That rock is Jesus. But when you think about what Mercator map showed you, let me show you something now. Mercator telling you the same thing. Mercator telling you in his map that a rock in the middle of our earth basically is what started it all. But this rock became Jesus on the cross. Where my Nobel Peace Prize, Billy? Billy ain't even writing books. Billy, you see what I'm giving them for free, Billy? This is why Jesus is on the cross. This is why Jesus is the rock, Billy. Billy, you will never get this deep, Billy. Your mind ain't we too different. You can't do it, Billy. You just can't, Billy. Billy, you can't get like me. Billy, I bet you didn't know why Jesus was the rock, Billy. I bet you don't know what they doing over there in the Middle East praising the black stone, Billy. You see Jesus in the middle of the rock? You see it? You see Kanye West on the Black Mountain Look at Mercator map. Mercator been telling you where creation started from that black. That's a magnet. That's the center of magnetism. See, light can't escape a black hole. And that's what they giving you, Billy. Let me show you what they giving you. Watch this, y'all. Look at here. What you looking at right here is pseudoscience. They're showing you light being sucked into a black hole, y'all. That's what they're showing. They're showing you light sucked into a black hole. But let me show you something though. I already went over this with y'all. Check this out, right? In the bottom left corner, I'm showing you light being sucked into a black hole. Let's put them side by side. See, you can prove mine, but you can't prove theirs. See, what you looking at on the left is damn CGI space programming. And what I'm blowing up big right here is the truth, y'all. You see how they got a black hole in the middle of that sucking in the light? That line that you see is the light being gobbled up and sucked into the black hole and out the bottom. I'm showing you the same shit on the right. This right here. You see the two holes? In the top hole, the light is being sucked into it. It's like water going down a drain. Think about flushing the toilet. The light is being spiraled into the top one and it comes out of the bottom one. And it recycles back around again to the top and gets sucked in and spit out again. And that whole process just sustains itself for eternity. That's what the earth is. That's what the earth is. I'll show you how it looks. This is the true meaning of the Jesus fish. That's how the light gets sucked in the top and out the bottom, y'all. And what I'm showing you is real science that can be reduplicated like what you see on the right. Billy and all of that space talk can't be reduplicated. Hold on a minute. All right. Though this is what the earth is, y'all. It's a huge torus field. And this on the left is what they plagiarized and created the lie with. Look at the images I'm showing you. Look at my collage and look at what they got on the left and you'll see they plagiarizing the ancient truth. They laughing at flat earth, but they giving you a flat Milky Way. Wake the hell up. Wake up and quit being stupid. Quit being stupid. Stupid is when I show you the truth and you don't accept it. On the right is the truth. On the left is the lie. They can't prove they shit. I'm proving mine with a Pharisee. People, y'all laughing at flat earth, but you believe in a flat Milky Way on the right. See, the reason your Milky Way flat is because that's the goddamn truth. The galaxy represent the gal's axis. The girl's axis is why I'm showing you the great mother down there spinning everything around. She's the axis, gal axis. They turned it into a galaxy so that you won't know about the great mother, Billy. There go the great mother in the bottom left corner, Billy. See how she looked like a spider? Look in the bottom left corner. That's the great mother under a Pharisee looking like a spider, looking like the Egyptian scarab beetle. And that's the Dogon Kananga on the right. They turned the great mother, which is a girl with an axis point, because the great mother is just a girl represent an axis point where everything is spun around that axis. So it's the girl's axis. they turned it into the galaxy on the left. Billy. So again, the rock is what started the ripple effect. Let me take this off and get back to what I was saying, Billy. Tired of y'all ET folk. Y'all love some aliens. Y'all love some damn aliens. Goddamn ET people. I'm tired of y'all. Cause you mad cause this truth that I'm talking about, you can't sell no more ET books. Cause you can't sell no more ET books. When the people start getting this truth, you can't sell no more of them ET books. Billy, we know you want to just sell ET books. Nobody trying to sell no ET books over here, Billy. All them ET books on the shelf, can't nobody find the truth. Cause they gotta dig past all y'all ET books. Niggas going in the library asking the librarian, hey baby, where your ET section at? You got anything on aliens? I wanna read about aliens. See, I just told you that y'all don't hear what I'm teaching you. See, I just told you that the God El is the root word of alien. Who think they're damn aliens are no different than Christians. Oh, y'all don't hear me today. Let me tell you something, Billy. Listen up, Billy. If you follow Christ, you're a Christian. And if you follow El, you're an alien. That's right. You follow El and you think you're aliens. Yeah, you're a damn alien. Because you follow the God El. Y'all don't hear me today. Y'all don't hear me today. Who think they aliens don't know that they serving the God El. So this is why Jesus was the rock. See, let me take that off. Let's take that off. Goddamn aliens everywhere. You know, all these black extraterrestrials running around the place sagging their pants and carrying on. Sit your alien ass down somewhere. You know what these gonna be advocating for in the future? Gonna be saying, you ain't gonna be checking off on whether you're black, white, Asian, Hispanic. They gonna have another option. Whether you human or goddamn alien. Whether you a ET, don't start complaining. Ain't nowhere for me to check off, man. I'm not a human. I'm a black extraterrestrial. I wanna work for your company, but I think it's racism that you ain't got a section that let us specify whether we human or extraterrestrial. Where is the section of this application that let me select alien? I ain't no damn human. All these that, you know, let me tell you something, Billy. So let's keep in mind what I keep telling you now. What we looking at here is a simple ripple effect, but it show you the doggone cosmos, right? Amma is the circle in the middle of the elements. L is everywhere, right? That's what I'm telling you. This rock right here is another way of them telling the ancient ripple effect story. Look at the ripple effect that I'm showing you. That's all they were showing you here. They plagiarizing it. The ancestors said every conscious being on earth was created from a central point, and that's the mind of God. So when you say element, What you saying, dog? You saying the mind of El. El is a title called God to the Hebrew. Oh, I hope I'm not losing nobody. I hope y'all tracking. They plagiarizing what the Dogon was already teaching. The Dogon said, in the middle of the four elements sits the great mother goddess, the serpent goddess that you see right there. The Dogon said, everything on earth that's made of earth, water, wind, and fire was born from the cosmic womb of Amma. They said, if you're a conscious sentient being, you are nothing but the imagination of Amma. And they turned around and told you in the Bible, we all created in the image of God, you plagiarist. The Dogon said we was created in the imagination of one that pondered this pun by a meditating source. Everything that exists is a thought. All thoughts come from the mind of God. See, when they tell you that the elements is the foundation of creation, they're telling you that the mind of God is the foundation of everything in existence. El and meant element. But before it was said to be an element, it was called the forces of creation that was born from the womb of the goddess. Then when El took over, we started calling them elements now, so we can give reverence to the god El, who replaced this beautiful ripple effect with a stinking ass dude. Here go the Dogon version. The Dogon was telling you the same thing. They got the great mother goddess in the middle of the ripple effect, and they replaced her with a goddamn rock. This may be too deep for people that like to read about aliens, though. I don't know if the alien believers don't even see what we're talking about. You know, they waiting on the next alien conference. Charge them $500 to go sit down and talk about ET for goddamn 6 hours. You ought to be ashamed of your goddamn self. Sitting down with your damn children, telling them that their ancestors were some goddamn aliens. Let me show you something, people. Let me show you something real quick. Okay, I know what I'm looking for. I had a brain fart. Let's pull up this god El again. I know you aliens love when I show you your god El. El, and they didn't know that the word alien come from people who think they born from the alien god. Look at this head. Don't it look like an alien? I told y'all, nigga. Why you think Santa Claus wear that hat that give him a cone head? Why you think Santa Claus got the damn hat on that make his head look like an alien? You know why all of these gods got a pyramid on their head? Because they all personifying the black stone at the middle of the earth. Look at that damn cone. See Kanye standing up on a black mountain? See the black mountain in the middle of Mercator map? That's why them got that cone on their head. Because they think they the source of the creation. But they just stinking. They just stinking. They stink. And I'm going to tell you something about them. Them personified themselves as the creator of the damn cosmos. You egotistical pricks. That's what happened. That's how you get religion. Look at here. Putting that cone on your damn head. All right? What's another time you put a cone on your head? For your birthday. Because your birthday is about being born again. And this is the same God told you you be born again through him. Y'all get it now? This is Jesus. This is why, see, another name for Jesus is El Shaddai. The god El got that Santa Claus hat on because Santa Claus is another form of El. Here he goes sitting on his throne right here. Here he go sitting on his throne. See, people would bring gifts to this God, and he'll have a bunch of gifts around his throne. This is biblical motherfucking, the foundation of the biblical God that spoke. This is the identity of him. Now, I put that up to show you something. Another form of El is what I just showed you earlier, man. Let me show you something. Here we go. I want my Nobel Peace Prize, Billy. Tell them to get it ready and shine it up. Let me show y'all something. Hold on a minute. All right, I need a big... All right, I'm gonna have to work with what they giving me, Billy. Look like they hating on me. All right, let's work with this one. It's small, but you know what I'm doing. Now look at this God El for a minute. Just look at him. Look at this God El, right? Now, go back here. Is your third eye open? Can you see what I just did? See, a lot of things that you teach, you don't gotta talk. If you show motherfuckers, they brain smarter than what y'all smarter than what y'all think. Cause I don't really gotta talk a lot of times. When I show y'all, y'all be like, oh yeah, I see now. Yeah, keep going, we with you. Cause y'all smart. Unlike the motherfucking people who think they're aliens. Look at here. Can you see how they changed it now? Look at the God El and look at the Dogon concept of the ripple effect. The God El is also called the Ripper. Remember what I told you about the Mayan cosmos? The Great Mother is at the middle of the Mayan cosmos, ripping up the elements. Why? Because that's what the torus field does at the middle. This little hole in the middle represent the Great Mother. Today it represent the Jesus fish. The Jesus replaced the Great Mother. But Jesus said, I make all things new again. Jesus said, I come to make all things new again. And that's what this symbol is doing, is recycling the energy over and over, making it new again. When I told you about the Great Mother at the middle of the Mayan cosmos, she got her tongue out. She's eating up she in the middle of that ripple. She's the hole up here that's eating up everything and spitting it back out new again. Just like this showing you here. This is what the earth is doing. So she's that hole in the middle just eating. Ether. That's what she's doing. That's what the Mayan showing you. Now look at here. The Hebrews said the same thing. They said it's a hole in the middle of our earth. All compasses is pointing to the Great Mother, y'all. I can prove to you what I'm saying is true. I'm talking about magnetism, electromagnetism. If you got a compass, it only points to the Great Mother. All the compass is pointing into the middle of the earth. Where the Mayan got that Great Mother at. That's what's making your compass point there. Your compass is reading where all of the magnetic energy on earth is being sucked into, and it's pointing there. Your compass is reading a vortex at the middle of the earth. Put it this way. If you fill up your kitchen sink with water and put a toothpick in it and pull the plug, And when it create that vortex and that water start getting sucked out, guess what? The toothpick is going to point toward the middle of the sink, toward the suction. That's the same thing your compass doing. Your compass is like a toothpick in some water. And if you flush that toothpick down the toilet, when it go into the hole, it's going to go in standing up. If you put a toothpick in your sink, fill it up with water, pour the drain, the toothpick gonna spin around till it face the suction point. That's what your compass doing. Your compass is reading an electromagnetic suction point at the middle of the earth, and it's pointing there. Billy, you know how a compass work. Billy, I ain't gonna do you like that. People that believe in aliens don't know how compasses work, y'all. See, you don't understand they speak in two different languages, Billy. When they tell you Jesus is the God of compassion, you gotta read between the lines, because the root word of compassion is compass, Billy. Jesus is the God that represents the compass cross. This is where the cross come from, Billy. You didn't know that? The four cardinal directions. They just put Jesus in the middle of it and said he represents compassion. Nope, he just represents the compass, Billy. Take the O and the I and the N off the end. He just represents the damn compass, not the compassion. People, they playing a game with y'all. Playing a game with you. So they replaced the great mother with this God. Now he's in the middle of the ripples, like you see what the Mayans showing you. That's what I want to show you. He replaced the ancient concept of the serpent goddess that we see right here. That God El. This became Jesus on the cross with his arms spread in between the two thieves, which is the sun and the moon. There he go right there. So everybody's saying the same thing. The Hindu people were saying what the Mayans saying with the great mother in the middle. Now let me move on along. Let's move on along. I'm knocking them out. I think a third part gonna complete it. Let's take some of the stuff off the screen that we don't need no more. I think we can take this off too. I'm going to leave that up there. And I'm going to leave that. Thank y'all for your patience, for allowing me to organize this shit as I go. All right. All right. I'm trying to get back to the video. Bear with me. Forgot which tab I had it in. There it go right there. Let's go. Let's get it.
This one particular group, which is the ones that you see on the face of the Sphinx, for example, that is an Anunnaki. Now, whose face is on the Sphinx? Originally, it was Thoth's face, Tahuti.
People, he don't know what the f he talking about. Once again, let me show you. When you talk about the Sphinx is Jesus, y'all. What animal is the motherfucking Sphinx? And what animal is Jesus? Lion of Judah. The Lion of Judah. I'm showing you the origins of Christianity in Egypt. I don't understand how this nigga is an author and he ain't this deep like this. This show you how easy it is to write a book and deceive the people. Here is the Sphinx right here, folks. Who he's calling Thoth was also called Ashtaroth or Baal or Narmer. The half man, half motherfucking lion actually debunks this damn dude. Look, people, let me show you what I'm talking about. Them niggas see statues like what I showed you, half human, half snake, and they'll say that proves we're serpent people. That proves we're Anunnaki. But when they look at shit like this, they don't say it proved we was lion people. Oh, y'all don't hear me. People, they use pictures on statues like what I use to prove a reptilian race. They say, look at this statue. It's half human with a snake tail. And they literally believe that because they don't know the knowledge what I just broke down to you, that it was just a zoo type teaching science. But the contradiction is they look at the Sphinx and they don't believe we come from half motherfucking lion, half human people. They get that it's just symbolism, that it wasn't no motherfucking minotaurs walking around. By the way, mixing humans with animals was called bestiality. The first time bestiality existed, it was referring to the art of mixing human deities with animal deities. I'm not making this up, y'all. The God Best is the root word of bestiality. And if you look at the God Best, here another form of Jesus. Jesus was called the great beast because they tell you Jesus is the goat and the lion. Jesus is a beast God because he take the form of animals. Let me show y'all who Jesus is. Here go Jesus, the Lion of Judah with his scepter. Who else carries a motherfucking scepter? The devil. You don't believe me? Let me show you. The same God I've been telling you about. Look at Jesus with his scepter. He come in many forms, y'all. Pan is the Baphomet, the god of pandemonium, order out of chaos. Look at the Pope with the hat on that represents Saturn or Satan. He carries a scepter, folks. He carries a scepter. This the same God, brother. The Sphinx is Jesus. Ain't nobody gotta have all of these arguments about why you think Jesus got a fish. Jesus is associated with a fish, but the original fish god is right here. His name was Orion or Dagon. But look what he got in his goddamn hand. Look what he got in his goddamn. Now Jesus is a fish god. And Jesus is also a lion god. And you know what the fish god and the lion god got in common? They both carried a scepter. People, it's the same God. It's the same God, y'all. Billy! Billy! Oh, Billy. Billy! Billy! See how I sync that shit together, Billy? Jesus was a fish god that carried a scepter, but he also was the Lion of Judah with the scepter. And I'm showing you both forms of it, Billy. Showing you what I'm showing you, Billy. Better listen, Billy. Better listen, Billy. So, you talk about the Sphinx. Dude, you ain't the only motherfucker got a Sphinx. It's griffins all over the world, Billy. You piss me off, Billy. Goddamn, Billy, you don't know too much, Billy. You don't know enough to be writing no books, Billy. He acting like the Sphinx was just in Kemet. They had the Sphinx everywhere, Billy. The Sphinx was called the Griffin in other cultures, Billy. Look, Billy, this ain't in Egypt, Billy. This the white man Sphinx right here, Billy. Look at it, Billy. Everybody had a Sphinx, Billy, because everybody worshiped this same God. Ashtaroth, Baal, Moloch, Saturn. This became Jesus, the Lion of Judah. Billy. Billy, I gotta smoke with you, Billy. We taking a goddamn break, Billy. Oh man, Billy, goddamn it, Billy.